These were the only 3 things that I did to get jacked. No bullshit, step by step exactly what I did so that you can do the same. These are the 3 principles that I use for all of my online clients to get them the same results. When I first started in the gym, I was super skinny and I had no mass on me, no muscle, and I kind of hated the way I looked. So I decided to start in the gym. Obviously, when you first start, you're not sure what you're doing, everything you learn over time. That is why I've made this video for you to help you go from skinny to jacked. The first thing that I did to go from skinny to jacked was following a structured plan. As I said, when I first was going to the gym, I kind of had no idea what I was doing. So I would go to the gym and train whatever I felt like training on that day, which most of the time was just chest and arms. So what ended up happening, my chest got big, the rest of my body stayed the same because obviously I'm not training it. I didn't know about what I should be training and how everything should be split up. And I kind of just was winging it every workout. I didn't know what I was doing. And I ended up missing out muscle groups. And another big thing that I missed out was training legs. For the first few years, I never trained legs. Training randomly led to small gains, but I limited my progress because I wasn't hitting each muscle group 2 to 3 times a week. I was skipping big muscle groups like my legs. And overall, I was getting small gains and nowhere near as much as I could. Now, if you're not sure what I mean by following a structured plan, what I mean is that you know how your week is split up and you know on what day what you're training. For example, if you want to train 5 days a week, you could do push, pull, legs, upper, lower. Now, what this does, it means you know when you go into the gym exactly what muscles you're training. You know what exercises you need to do. You're not just going in winging it, doing chest and arms 7 days a week. And it pretty much allows you to know exactly when you're training, what you should be doing and everything like that. And it also ensures you're training each muscle group 2 to 3 times a week, which is the perfect amount for muscle gain. Without the plan, you're going to be lost. You're not sure what you're training, you don't know what to do, and you're going to end up winging your workouts, which is obviously going to limit your progress. And I did this for the first 2 to 3 years of training. I would literally train 7 days a week, chest and arms, rarely hit anything else, and obviously that limited my progress and I didn't gain as much as I could. So the first principle that you want to follow is following a structured plan. The second principle that I followed was progressive overload, and this almost links into the first point of following a structured plan. Now, what I mean by progressive overload is over time, you're either increasing the reps or your sets and pretty much giving your body stimulus to grow. Without it, you're not going to grow, you're going to stay stagnant. For example, when I was first training in the gym, if I was doing bench press, I might do 60 kilos for 12 reps. And 3 months later, I'm still going into the gym, loading up 60 kilos on the bar and doing it for 12 reps. I'm getting a pump, I'm working the muscle, but I'm not progressive overloading, which is going to limit progress again. Now, what this pretty much does, it means your body has something to react to and grow to. Without it, your body's going to get used to doing that same exercise, the same weight, so it doesn't need to grow. And that is what limited me on my journey when I first started off. Now, when I started following the structured plan, obviously it became a lot easier to progressively overload because I knew, let's say it was push day and let's say I did an incline dumbbell press, let's say I did 40 for 8. The next time I go in the gym, I might try 42s for 8. And if I get those, then progressive overloads happened. My body is going to start growing. And I'm giving my muscles something to react to. I'm not just stagnant, I'm not staying the same. Otherwise, all you're going to do is go to the gym and almost waste your time. Now, the goal is to go from skinny to jacked. So we need to lift as heavy as possible, and progressive overload is going to help us get there. When I first started training on a structured plan, I could bench 100 kilos for 1 rep. Now, at the end of the plan, about 6 months later, I could do 100 kilos for 8 reps. Now, that just goes to show how important progressive overload is, because otherwise I would still be stuck at 100 for 1 rep. And then I'd end up getting nowhere, wasting time in the gym when I could be growing, I could be getting stronger, and I could be closer to my goal. The third principle that I followed to go from skinny to jacked is being in a calorie surplus. Now, if you're not sure what this means, it just means that you're eating more calories than you're burning. Now, this, hands down, is the most important part of anyone's fitness journey, is their nutrition. When I first started, I completely ignored it. I ate little to nothing, and that is why I stayed skinny for so long. Now, eating in a calorie surplus allowed me to go in 10 months from 70 kilos up to 85 kilos. And that is more muscle than I gained in years of training. simply because I was neglecting my nutrition. If you're not eating enough, then you're not going to grow. And if you're watching this now and you're super skinny, you're training hard, you know you're doing the right things, but you're not getting any bigger, the one reason is going to be your nutrition and not eating enough food. It makes complete logical sense. Obviously, if you want to lift big, you want to be big, then you need to eat big. Now, to work out how much you want to be eating, you need to work out your maintenance calories. And this is how many calories you need every day to stay exactly where you are. So we're pretty much progressively overloading, but with food as well. So you want to take your maintenance calories and we can add about 300 calories on top. That way we're doing like a slow bulk. Over time, you're slowly going to gain muscle and size. Obviously, you will gain a little bit of fat, that is going to happen. But the reason we want a small bulk or a small increase above the maintenance calories is to limit the amount of fat so that you don't just end up fat and skinny fat, that you end up over time building muscle and overall gaining mass and turning your physique from skinny to jacked. The most important part with all of these factors and a calorie surplus as well is staying consistent. Now, when I first started eating in a calorie surplus, I would do maybe 4 days of the week, I'm hitting my calorie goal. The other 3, I neglect it and I miss it. And by the end of the week, it's pretty much evened out that I'm not even in a bulk anymore. So staying consistent is definitely the #1 thing that we want to do. Being disciplined as well is going to help us get there. Same with going to the gym. If you don't like going to the gym, then you need to be disciplined. You need to do it when you don't want to. If you don't want to lift heavy on a certain day, of course, not every day I want to go in the gym and push myself to the limits, but being disciplined is going to make me do that. And the same thing with food. Doing the right thing that you need to do, even when you don't want to do it, is why 99% of people aren't in shape. As I said, these are the things that I did and I learned along the way to go from skinny to jacked. Now, if you implement these 3 principles into your training and you stay consistent, 100% you're going to see the results, just like I did and just like all of my clients do. And if you want to avoid wasting time in the gym like I did, wasting years of your life, not seeing progress and not being in the shape you want, then book a call with me at the top line of the description and see how I can help you out. If you need help following a structured plan, if you don't know what you're doing, if you need some accountability, then book a call. We'll see how I can help you and we'll help you achieve the same results that I did. Hopefully this video has been helpful to you. Hopefully it's inspired you and showed you that if I can do it, you can. I went from skinny to jacked, you can do it as well. Simply stick to these 3 principles, stay consistent and give it time and you will get there. If you found this video helpful, click that subscribe button down below and I'll see you in my next video.